Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about technology. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about artificial intelligence, okay? There's been a lot of talk in tech news recently about what is expected to be a new and major shift in the market, in the technology market and in the industry. And it is specifically over artificial intelligence. So one, the term artificial intelligence is highly debated today. And there's questions over whether that is even a valid term, because almost everyone agrees that it would be a little presumptuous for us to say that we actually have artificial intelligence today. And so two terms that we are starting to see used are machine learning and deep learning, okay? So whenever you hear artificial intelligence, deep learning, and machine learning, generally they're all talking about the same subject, okay? So recently, Google came out, and Google has stated that it is now going very, very quickly and very in a focused manner toward building for artificial intelligence, building for deep learning, okay? And the reason they're doing this is they're saying there is essentially a new that artificial intelligence is the new mobile. Okay, so within technology, essentially mobile was an absolutely groundbreaking new section of the industry that came up. Okay, now one of the things is I've worked in technology management for quite a while, and essentially when mobile came in, mobile was a very large, important part of our industry. And it really changed things, because one of the things that mobile changed was it's essentially the new hotness, right? If you're in technology, if you work in technology, the smartest and the most gifted and the most well-paid and the cream of the crop within technology never wants to work on legacy products, right? So essentially, it's a little bit of a sad section, but if you're in information technology, you don't work on legacy products. Legacy products are products that are built, they're understood, and mostly what's being done in that space is iteration, right? Where if you're a technology professional, you want to work on the newest, hottest section, right? And that is because what's happening there is innovation, right? So basically mobile came out, and what it did was, before mobile, desktop computers, you would just say computer, right? Because if I say, oh, this is a mobile, everybody knows what that is. It's a mobile device, right? So if before mobile came along, computers were cool, right? And this has 2 core processors and it has this much RAM. Well, now desktop units are just old hat. Nobody cares about desktop units, right? And it's considered a legacy product, right? And the best developers, the best configuration specialists, the best tech support, all of them want to work in mobile, right? And it's been that way for a while, okay? Now, what Google is saying is that there is a new field within technology management that will make mobile old hat, right? And so one of the things I'm talking about today is I want to define what they're saying, and then I want to say if I think they're right or wrong, okay? So Google is saying AI is the future, artificial intelligence, right? Now, they're linking it, they're saying the reason AI is going to be so important is because AI is needed for one specific thing, and that is talking to devices. So they're saying that, essentially right now, and this is a great point, right now there are 3 devices that all have a name, that all can be spoken to, and that a portion of the tech-savvy community are actually using. And that is Home, Siri, and Alexa, okay? Home is made by Google, Siri is made by Apple, and Alexa is made by Amazon, okay? But every major tech firm has a servant that needs AI to listen to a human being and then do exactly what that human being needs done. And so they need these mobile, they need these servants, okay? These digital servants to act like human beings and serve like human beings and think like human beings. And that is the need for artificial intelligence, okay? So, or if you hear anybody saying deep learning and machine learning, they're still talking about artificial intelligence. All those terms right now are functionally synonymous. Now, actually, just so everybody's aware, I know there's differences in those terms, but those differences are at this point in the conversation mostly academic and not really, and they're so nuanced that they don't really provide a lot of value for the time it would take to explain the difference. Okay, all right. So basically, Google is saying they're going hard into this, all right? Now, let's talk about it, right? So one of the things they're saying is that there is something to go into. So one, there's a ton of algorithms and there's a ton of programming that needs to be written. Additionally, hardware is going to have to be talked about, okay? Computers have always had CPUs, central processing units, okay? And then we got GPUs, graphic processing units. Currently, graphic processing units are being leveraged to function as for artificial intelligence, for processing artificial intelligence. And generally, the reason why is these GPUs, these graphic processing units, they're faster and they have more they have more capability, right? So we've been using these GPUs, right? Well, I think what Google is going now, I don't think they even have the term for it, but we're moving into DPUs, right? Now I'm applying this term, which I would call a deep processing unit, right? Which is a processing unit built solely to deal with AI, deep learning, machine learning, okay? If they are building new hardware and they are building new languages, new templates for coding, they're building a coding base. They're building a coding workforce that can code for artificial intelligence quickly, right? This is a game changer. And so it's one of the things that's really big is everybody's been scrambling for a decade to get into mobile because it's the hot space, right? And now mobile is going to become a legacy product, right? And where the coolest people are working on artificial intelligence, which is used to power these digital servants, right? And these will be in these devices that will be constantly listening, right? So I've defined what Google is saying, and now I want to talk about if they're right. Okay, so first thing, one, why would I say that Google's wrong? Well, one, Google has been wrong in the past. Okay. So one of the things that they called out before was they called, Google Wave is one of their failed products. By the way, before we go any further, I am a huge Google fanboy. I have to admit to this, right? There are a lot of Apple fans out there. I'm not one of those people. I don't think I would have strong beef against Apple. It's just not. Here's the biggest thing. For most of my life, I was poor, right? I just didn't have a lot of money. So if you don't have a lot of money, generally you're not going to be, it's not that you're not an Apple fan, you're just not an Apple customer, generally, okay? And so for a long time, so I came up using Windows products because that's all I could afford, right? And so, I've always been in the Windows world, and even beyond that, I was an Android product, and so I got used to it, right? So, but Google's products are free. The vast majority of Google's products are free. So, of course, I am an absolute Google fanboy. I am like 100% in their camp. So I should be saying that, right out of the gate, right? So, but they have been wrong in the past, and I love that they're wrong because they take chances, right? Google Wave, they took a chance. Google Glass, they took a chance. It didn't work. Both those products did not work. Google Reader went away. That product did not work, right? And now they have tons of products. The Google Suite, YouTube, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Spreadsheets, their productivity suite, the Google, essentially Google, the Google Office. It's not the right term. There's a different term, but their collection of free products that emulate Microsoft Office, I couldn't live without it. I use it absolutely constantly, right? It's just invaluable to me, right? And I don't pay a dime, which is crazy, you know? So, and so one of the things that they talked about was Google for a long time talked about wearables. And actually, a lot of people talked about wearables in tech. And wearables never came about. They just like, Google, the Apple Watch is the closest thing to a wearable that's on, you know, that's actually available, that people use. I don't see them that often. It just never really caught on. So wearables, you know, it was just like, you know, if Google's saying, hey, artificial intelligence is the thing, it's going to happen, we're going hard into it. You know, is it like wearables? Is it vaporware? Technology that people talk about, but that doesn't actually exist, right? It's a very real thing. Vaporware is a very, very real thing, right? So here's what I'm saying. The fact that AI will now rise up as a new field within technology, within information technology, and will make mobile a legacy product, I think they're 100% right. I think Google is correct about this. So, you know, if you're out there and you're in the tech field, pay attention to this, you know, do what you can to start moving. I think, you know, cloud is still incredibly important, and big data is still incredibly important, but I think there's subsets of artificial intelligence. And so artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, the time has arrived. Google is going into it really hard, and I think the entire industry needs to take a look and see what's happening, because I think Google is right. Take care.